Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the largest, biggest, and longest to make McDonald's that exists on YouTube. Buckle in. This modern McDonald's has an outdoor play area, where we have a jungle gym and a sand pit. Inside, on the first floor, that's right, this has 2 stories, we have some self-service machines. Some wonderfully mannered employees. We have a second story, which has plenty of seating, some more service machines, but more importantly, toilets, which, if you're anything like me, you will need in a McDonald's. Now, most importantly, the star of the show, we have the indoor play area. This thing is huge, and it's actually hard to see, so to make it a bit easier, here is the play area. This is a multi-level play area with all sorts of hamster cage tubes that take you all over the different areas of the play set. We have a giant water slide that takes us all the way back down to the bottom. We have a giant sand pit that has a mini water slide. This is honestly more like a mini indoor beach. And opposite, we have a bouncy ball pit. We also have a mini parkour course that takes us all the way back up to the top of the playset, and most importantly, all the way back to the top of the water slide. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could like this video and subscribe. This was a real interesting one to build and make. Thank you so much in advance. I hope you enjoy building this. And without any further ado, let's get started. This is the amount of space required to make the McDonald's. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build, or at the very least, this stage of the build. We will need some more things later, however, we will address that when we get there. Begin by placing a light blue concrete on the ground. Leave a gap of 1 going right, and then place another light blue concrete. It's actually easier to build this from the sky. We want to place 2 light blue concretes placed backwards and to the right diagonally. 1, 2. Extend back by 2. 1, 2. Then place 2 back left diagonals. 1, 2. Extend left 2. 1, 2. Place 2 front left diagonals. 1, 2. Extend forwards by 2. 1, 2. And then extend and connect back to the build in a circular shape. We then want to place 2 light blue concretes on top of every single light blue concrete block that we have placed. We want to join the entrance together at the top like this, and then place a layer of light blue concrete directly on top of the empty space above and inside of the circular shape. The end result should be this, well, igloo. We then, on the front two corner diagonally placed blocks, want to place a contrast block. So I'm using some magenta concrete for this. We want to place 2 of them on top of the diagonals in total. The purpose of this is to then place yellow concrete on top of this, join the yellow concrete together, extend up by 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, join together across the top. We then want to extend the corners backwards by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, extend across, join forwards, do the same with the bottom, turn this entire thing into a box. Now we are going to fill the left, right and back sides of this in using yellow concrete. We also want to fill the base in, as we do actually want to be able to get up into this point. However, we will need to access another part of this build as well. So on the right side, right in the middle, we do have to make enough room so that we are able to get in and out of this. We want to destroy these magenta guiding blocks like this. We want to fill the top of this in also, and we should actually make the mechanism for getting up and down. So right in the back center block here, inside of the box, we want to be able to create a ladder. So if we place a layer of light blue concrete here, extend up, place a yellow concrete here, and then we can use a little bit of glass surrounding this area like this, so it's nice and subtle. So if we take a look at this, we can create a little tunnel, and we can use ladders here so that we can actually get up and down. I think that that is actually enough ladders. Jump! Never mind. There we go. So beyond this, we also want to have a part that sticks out on the front. So we want to place magenta concrete in front of the 3 middle blocks at the bottom and at the top, extend the center blocks forwards, and we then want to use black stained glass to join these blocks together, bottom and top, just like this. We then want to grab blue concrete, and we now want to create a tunnel which will take us to the next part of the build which we have yet to build. So extend this yellow concrete here outwards by 3 using blue concrete. 1, 2, 3. Extend backwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then extend to the right by 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to extend inwards. So extend inwards about as far as where the yellow concrete is here. So we also want to extend another row. This is above the doorway here. Place 3 blue concrete extending outwards. 1, 2, 3. And then extend backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then right by 2. 1, 2. Across by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to extend inwards and line up with the previous row. So if we take a look at this, these 2 rows of blue concrete basically just sit parallel to each other. And that's kind of the point, because this is a tunnel that will lead us up into the next part of the build. There are 2 ways to get to the part that I am hinting at, and also, by the way, it's up to you whether you want this to connect together on the corners or whether you want a more rounded appearance. So connected, rounded. It's up to you. It really doesn't matter either way. It's more of a personal preference. But once you have done this on one side of the tube, we then want to apply the exact same thing to the opposite side. So with this tube as well, we are going to have to add some stairs into it. And this is just going to be in this section here where we start to climb up. So if we just apply these here, all the way up to the top, this is looking pretty good. So now that we have this, we can now move on to the next part. So for this next part, we actually have to shave a row off the blue concrete / blue glass. We want to leave a gap of 1 between this tunnel and the yellow concrete. Reason being is because we want to place a lime concrete at the bottom of this tunnel, and at the top of this tunnel. We then want to extend the concrete left and right by 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like this. We then want to place a row of lime green concrete extending outwards diagonally from the bottom and the top, and then extend forwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to do a similar thing. We want to place a lime concrete in front of and to the left of these 2 rows and extend across by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to join these 2 rows together diagonally. So this might sound a little bit complicated maybe, but if we take a look at it, it's fairly simple. We're kind of making a circle, but it's more of a square. We then want to fill the bottom of this in using lime concrete. We actually want to fill pretty much every side in with lime concrete, but on every single side, we want to leave 2 rows in the middle. So that actually applies to every single side of it. So the end result should look like this. We then want to add a roof to this, and to do this, we are basically just going to place a layer of black glass block all the way around the top inside above the lime concrete here, and then we are going to add another layer of black glass and then perhaps a final one just on top, or maybe we can just leave that as it is. I think that's cool. Then it kind of looks a bit more domey rather than pointy. And now that we've done this, we are going to add some glass just to the front here as well in this hole. On the left side, we are going to place 5 orange concrete extending outwards from each one of the 4 sides of this hole here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. And we are essentially just making an orange concrete tunnel, just like so. So if we take a look at it like this, that's looking really good, and that will actually connect to something a little bit later, but that is in a while. So on the right side of this, we want to grab our red concrete and we want to place a layer of red concrete all the way around the outside of the hole like this, in kind of like a circular shape. We then want to add 2 more layers, like so. We then want to add glass to the front and back middle of this, and then we are going to destroy the red concrete blocks that correspond with this and place red concrete above and below. So it's a tunnel that we can kind of just see through a little bit, kind of in a bubble shape. From here, we now have to make a water slide. This would be a regular slide, but you know, Minecraft. So from this red concrete block, the bottom one, we want to place 3 yellow concrete, extending right. 1, 2, 3. We then want to extend backwards by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then down by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then want to extend right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to extend forwards 1. Down, forwards, down, forwards, down, forwards, down. We've hit the ground. We want to extend forwards by 3. So 1, 2, 3, like this. We're then going to extend left by 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we will extend a few rows forwards until we are kind of like even and level with this light blue concrete. We'll probably even extend a bit more forward than that, but the end result of this should look like so. This next part is really simple, but it can get a little bit tricky if you don't know how it's supposed to look, but luckily I'm here. So all we do here is place a layer of yellow concrete that are parallel to each other that sit above and outside the row of yellow concrete that we've already placed. The only difficulty comes with this part. So as you can see from the sky, we want to have these 2 rows like this, and they ultimately want to leave a gap on this side of the yellow concrete as we drop down into this next portion. So we would then extend these rows down like this, just like so, and then they just wrap around the slide really logically, just like this. So we are essentially just following the yellow concrete. I have found, myself included, to sometimes get a little bit confused with those parts in particular, with what direction the yellow concrete should be facing, but hopefully I've made it very, very obvious and logical. Hopefully, but there we go. Perfect. So we're just going to leave it like that for now. We'll add the water effect and what have you a little bit later on. Next up, we have to make the final part of the play area itself. So we are going to come all the way to the igloo, and in front of the left and right side of the entrance, we're going to dig in the ground 2 rows. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then outwards by 3 on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Fill these in using blue concrete like this. And then on the ends of these rows, we want to place a row of 5 polished black stone wall extending up from the block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can join these together at the top, just like this. And then we are going to start extending towards the left by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can connect downwards as we do it. We then want to continue extending left by another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then extend all the way down like this. We now want to follow this pattern. We want to extend the black wall block backwards by 8. This is the top one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then extend that down to the ground. We then want to do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then extend that down to the ground, just like so. Now, extending across the back, we first of all want to place a row of 4 extending left across the back of the build. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then extend this and join it down to the ground. And then place another row of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then extend it and join it down to the ground. And then we simply want to place rows of 8. We want to do 3 of these in total and then connect them down to the ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, connect down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, connect down. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then connect down to the ground. We then want to extend forwards, and we want to do the same thing as we did on the opposite side, so that is 2 rows of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then connect down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then connect down once more. And now we should be able to connect all the way back to where we first started by doing the exact same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then connect down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there you go. That would be number 8 as we connect back there. So we kind of have a cage around the lower half of the play area. Next, we have to make a mini parkour course featuring the black stone wall. So we want to come all the way over to the front left-hand corner of the build, and you will notice that we have a few rows of black stone wall. So we want to follow, not this corner row here, but this row of black stone wall backwards and line it up with that middle row of wall here. The significance of this is that we want to place a wall so that we create a rectangular shape. We then want to extend this wall up and join it and connect it to form the rectangular shape, just like this. We then want to add another layer of black stone wall on top of each one of the 4 corners of this, and we want to place a row of 6 extending up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would then extend across and down, or extend up and across depending which sort of way you're feeling, and it will connect to this little tunnel here, but that's okay, we can just intersect it and then extend across, up, all the way around. We want to do this one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each one of the 4 corners, and these will once again connect at the top. So we will have something which should look like this. So this looks pretty cool. Now, the only downside to this is that we have to fill it in with black stained glass pane, which for me is not particularly easy. I have a difficult time with black stained glass pane, but we essentially just want to fill each one of the 4 sides of this, top to bottom, in with glass pane, leaving enough room to enter this at the bottom. So somewhere about here you can leave either a double wide gap or a single wide, or maybe just leave the whole panel off. It's completely up to you, but we want to be able to get inside of this. I don't know how I managed to move on to that side before completing this one, but this is probably easier to make from the inside. There we go, that's perfect. So the next stage of this would be to add some ledges that we can slowly climb all the way around like this in kind of like a spiral and get up to the orange tube. So we would place these in kind of any sort of way that you wanted. So I'd start halfway off the ground, kind of like here, and if you leave a gap of 1 between these slabs and kind of like leave a half block between these, depending upon like how difficult you want this to be, then you know you can make a kind of like fun way to get up to the top here. But it's kind of up to you to customize a little bit. As long as you're happy with the end result of it, you can make it as difficult or as simple as you like. Just make sure that you can actually do it as you're placing it. I'm just play testing this as I'm going along. So up here, and then actually do remember that, so it would be here, and then I guess here? That actually worked out perfectly. There we go, that's absolutely fantastic, and we don't need to add any more, but you could if you wanted to, like, be a little bit cheeky and actually get up on top of here and kind of like, you know, mess around on the play area. But I know that that works, as I was testing that as I was doing it, and that is fundamentally the actual structure of this complete, but we do have to add a couple of more, for a lack of a better term, attractions to the play area. The first of which will be in the form of a sand pit, so basically come all the way to the front right hand corner of the build here, extend inwards diagonally by 1, destroy this block, and then 1, 2, 3 blocks to the left of it, dig all the way backwards, and kind of like extend back and join diagonally to the opposite end. So we're going to dig out this area, and then another row down afterwards, and fill this with sand. And it has occurred to me that we could actually extend the sandpit if you wanted to. So I'm thinking maybe we'll line it up with here, like this middle beam of the play area, and we will probably have it in kind of like an L shape like this. So something like this would be good. You could shave it a bit closer to the slide if you wanted to, so it doesn't necessarily have to be even everywhere. So it could be a bit bigger on the back, so you could probably put more fun stuff in here. So maybe you could even make like a little slide that went into the sandpit. We might even augment that a little bit later on. But for now, I'm quite happy that this is just marked out, and we will sort out the rest later. So coming onto the opposite side of the build here, we are going to add a kind of just like sponge pit, essentially. So this is made from the opposite corner, literally the exact opposite diagonal corner of where we started over there. Dig out this block, and then we'll actually dig so that we are one row away from this cage here, and then we want to dig across. And we want to maintain a little bit of a distance here, so why don't we dig here? So maybe we'll have a small pit. I think that this is probably appropriate because I think that I want to put like a slide and stuff in here and make this cool. So we'll have a small foam pit. It will kind of just sit within the boundaries of these black stone wall like this. We can extend it if you do really want to, but we could also make like a little parkour thing so that we can like jump in here and we can bounce, because inside of this pit we are going to place slime block, which is of course bouncy, and we then on top of the slime are going to place various colors of carpet so that it looks like, you know, different balls and such. So we can place all of these in here kind of like in a randomized pattern. Usually this drives me absolutely crazy, like trying not to place blocks too close to each other. I'm kind of like doing it now. I have a bad habit of like just bunching all of the colors next to each other, so I'm trying my absolute best not to do that. But also don't go too crazy. Just try and randomize it a bit, and that's great. So what I'm thinking here is we place maybe like a row of red concrete extending from this pillar here, or maybe just like leaving it alone. So a couple of rows of red concrete just on the outside of this like so. And if we add some stairs to the side of this, maybe we place them a bit more strategically just in the middle, something like this, so that it's nice and balanced. And we add a bit of red concrete just to the side so we can climb up here, jump in, and boom, we can bounce. I think that that's pretty cool. We could even have it like span the length of it, but the only thing is I don't like it clipping into the wall, so we'll just leave it like that. So I'm thinking about adding just a tiny little mini water slide, maybe like in this corner here. So if we place some lime concrete block just extending up from the corner of the little man-made sandpit that we have here, and if we place a row of lime just in between them behind like so, and this is where the water will flow, so we can just like come just straight down here, so the water can just drop from here all the way down. We can extend like maybe a line forwards just so that we've got like a little bit of a splash zone like this. Fill in the dirt surrounding this using lime, so that's absolutely perfect, and then extend the top of this backwards a couple of rows like this. And then I'm thinking actually we could probably do with some fence or something of the like, so maybe like just fence to connect down like this. Ladders up here, so we have ladders, little tiny little mini water slide moving all the way into the sandpit, which I think is pretty cool. And then we can make this like a little tiny beach. We can add some little mini sandcastles in the form of some sandstone wall, kind of like clumped together in fours. We can make it seem as though some kids are buried, I guess. And we can lay some flower pots with some item frames with shovels in. So nice little mini beach, perhaps even a shulker box, maybe colourful one like a blue one with like a yellow carpet on it, something like that to look like a little ball. So just make it nice and fun. We could even add something around the edge of the beach, but I'm not sure if that would interfere too much. Like if we were to add, say, like a row of white concrete, perhaps, you know, kind of like around the edge. I don't know if that would ruin it or not, or if it would frame it like with over there. I think that we're just going to do it. I think we're going to add some white concrete just all the way around the edge of it, because I think it will help frame this a little bit, but I don't know whether it will make it look a little bit weird or not. And whilst we are playing with water, we're going to come all the way up to the larger water slide here, and we are going to place a smooth quartz stairs here in this position, one water, which will flow all the way down here, and it will actually take us most of the way to where we need to go. But at this point right here, we're just going to add some more water, just like this, right until about this point, and this will flow down. But you will notice that we will have to actually place the edge of the slide just like this. That should slowly dissipate, maybe into the ground like so. Place these here to stop that. Okay, cut it off here, give it a second. There we go, so that's perfect. And then if we just destroy some of these surrounding blocks, replace them with yellow concrete, that's looking really good. And that's an awesome play area. We have actually pretty much completed it at this point. With the play area pretty much 100% complete, we are now going to build around it. So from each one of the four corners of the play area, which are the four polished blackstone wall posts, we want to find the third diagonal extending outward. So it might be easier for you if you dig in the ground, 1, 2, 3, and then replace that third block with a red concrete. And we want to do this on every single side. So 1, 2, 3, place a red concrete here. 1, 2, 3, red concrete. 1, 2, 3, red concrete, and we already have that one over there. So all we have to do now is dig in the ground and connect these together. We don't strictly even have to dig in the ground for this. It's just that it's probably easier to do this on the front and the right hand side specifically, as we have windows. Although we could add windows to multiple sides of this particular part of the building. We might even experiment with that, perhaps on the back of the build a little bit. We could probably make this look really cool, but specifically on the front and right side here. But then we want to, on the front right hand corner of this place, 2 red concretes extending up from this corner, 1, 2, and then a double oak door extending backwards, and then 2 red concrete extending up behind it. We then want to place 7 black stained glass extending back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a row of red concrete extending back, like so. And then I just want to work on the front a little bit, so extending left of the corner red concrete here, we want to place 2 black stained glass, red concrete, and then 5 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extending left, and then we want a row of red concrete extending all the way to the left, and then back, and then across the back. There we go. And we actually want to double up on this row of red concrete as well, so it wants to be 2 rows high in total. And we also want to have an entrance into this as well, just on the front left-hand side here. It actually corresponds with the entrance of the igloo, so the only reason I'm mentioning this is because the floor is going to want to be blue concrete, which we won't have on us later, so we just kind of want to have a 3-row wide entrance. You could even make it a little bit wider if you like. It could be 5. It doesn't matter too much. But the point is that we have this area marked out, and now we want to dig up. There we go, that is the play area officially complete. That looks so sick. The next thing that we have to do is make the building surrounding it. So the easiest way to do this is come all the way to the front right hand corner of the build and place a row of 11 smooth quartz block on top of this corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are now going to extend this row of 11 all the way around the build, and we are going to join it down to the opposite corners. Now that we have marked this area out, what we will then do is extend the glass areas up to meet the smooth quartz area. This also applies to where we have the double door as well. We want to treat that the exact same. So now that we have done that, we can now fill the remaining part of the building below the smooth quartz in with smooth quartz. So we are going to literally every single space in between all of the glass fill it in using smooth quartz. This is quite a task. With that complete, we now want to place 4 more layers of smooth quartz all the way around the top of the building. 1, 2, 3, 4. With those 4 additional layers of smooth quartz added on top of the building, we now want to add a final 2 layers of red concrete. 1, 2. And now we have to fill the top of the roof in using black stained glass. Now with the roof filled in, that is the structure of the building pretty much complete. Next, we have to add some branding to the building in the form of signs and also a big giant yellow M. So throw down your loom, open it up and stick a white banner in there with some black dye. The first letter we have to make is M, so we have to apply the inverted chevron pattern. Remove the black dye, put white in there, and then apply the chief indented pattern. Grab that, put that back in, place black dye in there, and apply the pale dexter, followed by the pale sinister pattern. That is M. Next, we have to make C, so fresh banner, black dye, chief pattern, pale dexter, black base. Then we will have to make D, so this is a little bit more complex, so the pale sinister pattern, white dye in there, lozenge pattern, put the black dye back in, then we apply the chief, pale dexter, base pattern. Next is O, so chief, base, pale dexter, pale sinister. So next is N, fresh banner, pale dexter, pale sinister, bend. Next is A, so pale dexter, pale sinister, pale or black chief, and then black fess. I guess the black part is irrelevant because we're using the black dye, but you guys understand which patterns we're applying anyway. Grab that, put that in the inventory. So next is L, so we have to apply the pale dexter pattern, the base pattern, and that's it for L. So next would be D, but we already have one, so we will reuse it. We have to make an apostrophe. So this is simply the chief sinister canton pattern, which we will place right here. Last but not least, we have to make S, so that's the chief pattern, base, and then we have to apply the bend, and that's it. So we're actually going to work from reverse in placing the McDonald's sign, and what I mean by that is this. So that's so satisfying that it fits in the hotbar perfectly. We want to come all the way up to the top front right hand side of McDonald's, and just underneath the red concrete here we want to apply the S, left of it the apostrophe, and then D, and then L, A, N, O, D, C, M. And there we have, all spelled out nicely, McDonald's. Then grab your yellow concrete, come all the way up to the sign, and place yellow concrete left of the M, like this. Leave a gap, place the same pattern of yellow concrete, leave a gap, place the exact same thing again. Then place yellow concrete diagonally and above the 3 rows in the middle, like this, and extend the left and right sides down, like so. So what we will have is a giant sign that is borderline unmissable, McDonald's. And there we have it, that is the entire indoor play area complete. But wait, there's more! Next, we are going to make the McDonald's that the play area is attached to. Although going by size, it's kind of like the McDonald's that is attached to the play area. Come all the way to the bottom front left-hand corner of the building and count and find the 4th block into the right. So this would be the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. From here, we want to place a row of 10 grey concrete extending outwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We then want to extend up by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We then want to extend to the right by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then place 7 red concrete, still going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to place a row of 10 grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we can extend down by 2. So 1, 2. And then we can extend all the way to the back wall here. So we end up with a pretty weird shape. We should have this. So now that we have this shape right here, we are now going to add some windows. So underneath this corner block that we just extended towards the play area, we want to place 2 black glass pane. We then want to extend the glass pane to the left by 2, 1, 2, but also simultaneously back by 2, 1, 2. We then want to place a layer of grey concrete. And then we want to place a row of 5 glass extending backwards from these 2 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. We then want to extend the glass down a row, like so. And we actually want to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we want to apply a layer of grey concrete and then 5 glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add a row on top here and then underneath, just like so. So just before we have a little look at this, that is absolutely perfect. So from here, we are going to extend this corner block all the way down to the ground using grey concrete like this. That's perfect. But we also want to extend the red concretes that we placed earlier all the way down to the ground, like so, and there are quite a few of them. And then when we get all the way up to the top here, we actually want to extend upwards by an additional 2 rows. So we extend up and out from the grey concrete frame. But we also want to extend forwards and backwards by 2 rows as well, just like this. And to save yourself some time, you can just extend the outer blocks around instead of extending the whole thing. We can just extend 2 rows completely around and in front and around and behind like this, and then we can just leave the middle out, so it will save a little bit of time. And the back as well. And there we go, saving ourselves precious, precious seconds. And then we just have to fill the top in also. And the end result should look like this. Next, we are going to come over to the left side of the build, come all the way over to this wall and extend this grey concrete up here by 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend across by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then down. We want to do a similar thing over here, except we want to leave a gap of 2. And then 1, 2, 3. And then extend out. So we will have essentially the exact same thing on the left and the right. We want to fill in between these in using grey concrete. We want to add red concrete above each one of these windows. By the way, these are drive-through windows. And then we want to fill above these in using grey concrete. And we also want to fill the front of this in with grey concrete as well. Next, we want to work on the right side of the restaurant, so come all the way down to this bottom row of grey concrete here and extend left by 3. 1, 2, 3. We then want to extend up by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then extend right and left to create a horizontal row like this. What we then want to do is extend the grey concrete inwards here and here. And the purpose of this is to then add a row of glass connecting the top of this row down to the ground like this, with then a layer of black stained glass paint inside of this, and then an end rod suspended in front of the glass pane in the middle horizontally. We then want to fill this little window in here using glass block, and then we can kind of proceed to just fill the rest of this in using grey concrete on the front and the side. And now that we've done that, we want to come all the way to the corner once again, and we want to build up a row of 3, 1, 2, 3, smooth quartz blocks extending outwards diagonally from this corner, add a slab on top, and then extend backwards and across the front to give us this shape. What we then want to do is create an entrance by leaving a gap of 2 here on the right side and then destroying a 2x2 square like this, and this is actually, we'll move it 1 row along, so we'll leave a gap of 3 and then we will have the side entrance here, and this will lead to a small playground that we will have. So yeah, I think that works out a little bit better. I'm even considering making this a little bit more of an alcove by placing an additional row of grey concrete here, filling the top of this in a little bit, and maybe just across the top of the entrance even more. Also, whilst we're in here, we are going to dig up the entire inside of the restaurant and replace the floor using iron blocks. Now that we have made the first floor, we now have to make the second floor. The second floor is positioned just underneath the window line that we have on the right side of the build as we look at it from the outside. So just underneath these windows, we also want to position some block of iron, and this wants to extend through the entire I don't know why I paused for so long, inside of the restaurant. We also have to add the golden arches to the red concrete area on the front. So to position this, it's a little bit weird, but if you find the middle of this large window here, follow it across, move to the left inside of the red area 1 row, place a yellow concrete, extend up by 1, 2, then leave a gap of 1, place a yellow concrete, gap of 1, yellow concrete, extend down 2, extend the middle block down 1, and place 2 yellow concretes positioned diagonally above and in between the rows of 3 yellow concretes, like this. Next, we are going to mark out a lot of the outside area. So to do that, we are going to dig in front of the smooth quartz area here, 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then dig to the right 19 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We then want to dig backwards, and we want to join up in front of the play area window here. We can mark out this entire area using cyan terracotta, and then we can actually just continue to dig it all out and replace this entire sort of squarey rectangular shape with cyan terracotta. Now that we've filled in the entire playground, we can work on the car park just behind it. So first of all, we have to add a couple of rows of smooth stone running along the back side of the play area. And then this is super simple. We want to place leaves along the cyan terracotta here and along the opposite side just at the end of the path, so they want to be equal in length. I think that that's right. I'm not sure if there's an extra one. No, that's perfect. And then we want to have this sequence of blocks. So just starting from the edge of this path here, a white concrete powder, 3 yellow carpet, white concrete powder, so on and so forth, connecting both sides together, and they should just connect together nice and evenly. Perfect. So from here, what we would do is extend the concrete powders all the way to where we have the leaves, and then fill in between the spaces in using grey concrete. Next, we are going to add leaves to the right side of McDonald's here, where we also have an entrance to the outside. We should probably add a door to this, just so that it's not open. On the front of McDonald's also, we want to have some poppies just extending around this corner here, and also just here. And then we can place a path in between these, so this is using smooth stone. And then we want to extend this across here. And we also want to extend the smooth stone path in a straight line here on the left next to the poppies all the way here and join to the cyan terracotta. So if you can imagine, all of this will be pathway, and in addition to this we will have 2 rows of path directly in front of the playground area as well. And then we also want to have 2 rows of path leading left in front of where we have the red concrete area here, and it's going to come all the way over to the left and as far as the end of the restaurant. So this will all be smooth stone as well, which I guess we might as well fill in because it's only a couple of rows. And then on the opposite side of this we will have oak leaves, poppies in front. We want to create a wall just here. I don't know whether to actually extend it from this window because it makes more sense, or whether to place it like here, just on the side. I think that we're going to go with the side, so we'll place terracotta here and we will extend it all the way and line it up with the smooth stone that we have over there. And we want to make this 2 rows high in total. And then on the inside of this wall here, we want to place 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet, white concrete powder, 3 carpet, powder, 3 carpet, powder, 3 carpet, powder, just like this. And these spots are a little bit smaller than the other ones, but they will extend out to the street. And these are, of course, car parking spaces as well. And they are built in the exact same way, so we want to dig out the middle of these and replace them using grey concrete. Just like this, and now whilst we are filling things in, we will just remove all of the grass from the area inside of the smooth stone and replace it using smooth stone. I was today years old when I realised that I made a slight problem with my own personal grid. Don't worry, this will not affect you as long as you followed the instructions at the start of the video in terms of the size of the grid and the start position. I just did a big oops for myself though. Next, we are going to place a row of 4 red concrete extending up in front of the terracotta wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to extend left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then extend down like this. We then want to dig in between the archway here and backwards towards the building. And then fill all of this in using grey concrete. And then place oak leaves in between all of these windows like this. We then want to have a pathway that runs along the left side of this drive-thru. But we also need to leave enough space so that we can actually like get out of the drive-thru. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 here, rows of grey concrete, and then just smooth stone either side like this. There we go. Perfect. We want to install a terracotta wall here just on the end, or alternatively we can have like waiting bays as well. So like if you guys have been to McDonald's, which I'm sure you have, like sometimes you can just get your food whenever, but sometimes you have to wait, unfortunately, to my dismay. And they will often make you wait in a bay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you were to make a bunch of bays just like here on the outside, then you could like have these all the way along, and then eventually the employees would get your food to you would be the idea. So that's also a good idea too, I think. So we could make a bunch of these. So each one of these has 5 rows in the middle, so they are 7 rows long in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this. And we could just make a bunch of bays, and hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this kind of like evens out. So not really, but kind of. So we can have the bays here, but then we can also just have like we could just add a bit of a drive out here as well. So like we could have the bays, and then we could just have like this, and then add a wall on the side of this. It'd probably not be positioned here, would it? We'd leave a couple of rows so that the employees could actually come and give you the food. And this wall could stem from like here, and maybe we could even extend a wall from here as well, so we could like have a wall and extend this little walkway. Or this doesn't necessarily have to even exist here, but you know, something like that. Extend this outwards, so we could either get our food and drive off, or just patiently park up and wait. And we could have some smooth stone on the side here, but it depends whether or not you're a little bit crazy like me and kind of like want to round everything off. But something like this would look good. I actually think that looks really cool. So another feature that we just have to add to the side here is an order board, which we are going to place right about here opposite on the on this pathway here. And essentially we will just place a 2x3 area like this, place a bunch of 1x1 paintings in this, and then we'll leave a little gap, and then we'll have a speaker box in the form of a polished black stone wall and a note block, and that can either be placed here or against this wall, and that is absolutely perfect. So that is where we would order, that's where we would pay / pick up our food, or wait for the food, or drive straight off. So to tie all of this together a little bit further, we have to create a road in front of and on the right side of our McDonald's. Essentially, it is 4 rows on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 rows in front, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will connect here and then extend across the front of the build and towards the back of the build. Now that is looking a lot cleaner, and what we can also do is just add a wall here on the right side. So this will extend all the way across the side of the road, all the way to the back here, and run around the back of the leaves. You could even leave this open if you wanted to, and just have the wall kind of like end here, or furthermore go across the back. It doesn't really matter. I'm considering installing some more windows on the back of the build, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think that a wall will look really, really nice, and ignore the fact that the grid has more room on this right side. It shouldn't be this far over, so I think that that looks... There we go. Does that not just frame this nicely? This is looking so good already. Next, we are going to make the outdoor play area. So to position this, we are going to come to the right side of the outer part of McDonald's and locate this middle bush here on the left. We want to leave a gap of 1 and then place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow concretes extending up from the cyan terracotta. Extend right by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then extend down by 1, forwards 1, down to the ground. We then want to extend right of this yellow concrete here by placing a blue concrete. 5 more yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend down to the ground. Then extend this yellow concrete backwards by 2. 1, 2. And then up by 3. 1, 2, 3. Back by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to extend down by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we can join back on ourselves towards the front, but more importantly across the side here. And what we essentially want to make, if we get a good look at this, is a platform, which we then want to fill in using blue concrete, just like this. And then we are going to make the front of the little playhouse that we have here. So we want to extend this yellow concrete across the top by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then extend down. We then want to leave a 2 wide gap so that we are able to actually walk in and out. We then want to connect this together at the bottom so we have a door and a window. And then we can seal this left side up, coming towards the back, and then we can seal up across the back, just like this. On the side here, we want to have enough space that we are able to step out onto a water slide. So the water slide stems from here, this yellow concrete. We'll actually exchange this for a blue, and then place 1, 2, 3 lime concretes extending out. We then want to extend down, forwards, and then dig into the ground like this. And we will build up the yellow concrete on the side of this house and lime concrete in such a way that we are able to build up the sides of the slide. So very similar to what we did inside, we just want to place lime concrete parallel to each other so that we extend down into the ground here. We'll exchange some of these blocks here for lime, and water will eventually stop flowing here. So we also have to place a smooth quartz slab in this position so that we don't get any splashback, and this is looking pretty good so far. So before we pop the roof on, we also want to be able to get up onto this platform, so we just extend this blue concrete forwards and down like this. We take the middle of this swing bar and we place a couple of chains like this, with then iron trapdoors underneath them. And there we have a swing. We can now get up here. We want to add water to this, so I actually didn't include a water bucket in my little list of materials that I've bought with me, but we just want to place that here, and then that will just flow down nicely into the ground. We'll just expedite that a little bit, and we want to add a roof. So the roof just sits on the side. It's made out of red concrete. We'll have it on both sides. It wants to extend forwards and back a row like this, and then we'll extend the red concretes inwards and upwards until they eventually meet in the middle like this, with then a yellow concrete just on top of the center block like this, and we want this on both sides until we eventually have this. And then we want the red concrete to join front to back. You don't necessarily have to have the inward blocks of the red concrete joined together like these ones, but the outer ones are important so that we actually do get like a nice looking flat roof, kind of like this. That's perfect. So from here, what we now want to do is add a little bit of a bench and also a sand pit. So smooth quartz stairs, end rod, red carpet, cauldron, oak trapdoor, sand, and then things to customize the sand pit. So like, you know, item frames, flower pot, sandstone wall, golden shovel, stuff like that. So a little seating area here, we'll just start from the corner and extend inwards diagonally and place a smooth quartz stair, one next to it, end rods in front, carpet on top, stairs on the opposite side. We then want to leave a gap of 1, and then we want to place a cauldron, oak trapdoor, and then we kind of want to mirror this. So we'll leave a gap of 1, smooth quartz stairs, end rods in front, carpet on top, and then smooth quartz stairs again. So a little bit of a seating area whilst kids are playing on there. That's absolutely perfect. And then in this corner, there's not too much room, but you could add just a little bit of a sand pit. And if we were to just make sure that we were at least like a row away from everything, if this makes sense. So a row away from this edge here, a row away from here, and then a row away from here. I mean, we could even extend it a little bit further, just like this, if you did want to. Then we can stick some sand in this. We'll have to dig one row down further, and then we'll customize it similarly to the sandpit that we have inside of the McDonald's. But as it is a lot smaller, we don't need to add much. And all in all, this will be the outside of McDonald's complete. Wow. With the entire outside complete, it is now time for us to head inside of our McDonald's and make the actual restaurant. So we are first of all going to come all the way over to this left side, and just next to this red concrete area, we are going to install a drinks machine. So this is made by placing 1, 2, 3, 4 light grey concrete on top of each other, extending across 1, 2, 3, all the way down, and then join back. And on here we'll have a couple of flower pots, leather, trip by hook, a couple of item frames up top, some different potions to represent drinks, and we'll also have a couple of buttons on the side also. Now, along this back wall here, we have a bunch of stuff to add. So in between the drive-through windows, we are going to have some cooking stuff. So we'll have a couple of furnaces here, and then a couple of grey concrete, stick some blast furnaces on top, with more grey concrete on top of this, and then we're actually going to extend the grey concrete up and across like so, and we are going to create kind of this faux wall which will help to add depth to this area. We also want to add an iron trapdoor in front of one of the blast furnaces, and we also want to add some stone buttons like so. Above the furnaces themselves, we'll have some polished deep slate stairs and some detector rails on these. Maybe one detector rail and maybe one item frame on one of these. So these are all different various cooking implements. And we also have to actually add in some counter space. So this is going to extend from this red concrete here. So we actually want to leave a gap of 1 and then place a row of red concrete that extends all the way over to the right. I'm thinking that we'll actually reduce the entranceway into the play area here. So we'll just have a 3 row wide, which corresponds to the actual width of the igloo anyway. And then inside of here, we are going to place a layer of grey concrete that extends all the way up this wall, and we are going to place a composter, item frame, and we'll need the horn coral fan, steak, cooked cod, and also some white candles. So a couple of composters here at the back, a few item frames with horn coral fan, steak, cooked cod. So wait. It wants to be placed in the item frame, not on the counter. So this looks like chips or fries. This is, of course, some sort of beef. That could be a patty or what have you. And we can have this in the item frame as well. Cooked cod, fish fillet. And we also want some white candles. That those look like actual like drinks cups, and we can even stick, say, like a lantern on the end here, and you can create more. You can also like create shelves and such to place even more stuff on if you did want to. So you know, if you wanted to go a little bit crazy and have all sorts of stuff, like we can have that. But the composters are also, by the way, like takeaway bags. So but I'm pretty happy with this. I think that looks pretty good, and I am happy to leave that as it is. So for this counter space here, we are going to have a couple of tills in the form of smooth quartz stairs with heavy weighted pressure plates beside them, and we want to space them far enough apart that they don't clash too much. So if you leave them 2 rows apart like this, I think that's pretty good. And above this, we want to stack a couple of rows of red concrete like this, just above, like so, and then that's perfect, and then that is pretty much the entire kitchen. Next to the kitchen, we are going to have some self-service machines, so leaving a gap, we'll place a white concrete here, gap, white concrete, gap, white concrete, and on top of these, we want to place smooth quartz stairs and a 1x1 painting in front of these stairs, and then buttons in front, and they vaguely look like order machines. So of course these are touchscreen, you pick out what you want, you pay for it, and then you wait. Nice and easy. So, for the opposite side of the restaurant, we are going to have some tables, but more importantly, we have to find a way upstairs. The entrance to the play area is how we are going to position this. So, we want to find, not the first, not the second, but this third red concrete here, and we want to place smooth quartz stairs extending outwards. We want 2 smooth quartz stairs like this, and you will find that this lines up with the end rod here of the entrance, so the glass and glass pane. So just in case, say, like your entrance is wider, you've decided to keep it a bit wider, it also coincides with the glass pane area here. So we then want to extend smooth quartz stairs up and backwards, of course, until we eventually break into the next floor. So just like this, and we should have a 2x2 square up here, which is perfect. And then we actually want to carve out around these stairs, so to the left of the stairs like this, and then all the way down, we want to place a row of red concrete that extends all the way up like so. So we want to destroy these iron blocks here, and around this red concrete, so we'll extend it up in this framework like this, and then we will fill behind these stairs in using red concrete, and we want to extend all the way up through the floor, so here, and all the way up here, and we want to connect all the way to the, where the ceiling would be, which is actually something that we don't have, that we haven't added yet, but the ceiling is eventually going to be made out of glass, black stained glass specifically, and if we just extend a row here, the ceiling will be right at the top of where this grey concrete is, so we can preemptively place a row of glass, just so that we don't kind of like overshoot ourselves, and we just want to add some red concrete here, just kind of like all the way around this staircase, and see, there we go, that's perfect. So now we will be able to extend up and down into our McDonald's. We'll probably have to add some lights as well. We could even drop the ceiling a little bit, so like we'll still be able to get up and down if we do drop the ceiling, but I do also like the height of it as well. Maybe we could even add some cheeky sea lanterns, just like here. Like I don't want it to be too crazy, but I do want to have a nice amount of light. You see, I definitely don't like that. There we go, that's better. Perhaps we will just have to add some strategic lanterns about the place. Anyway, let's add some seating. So right next to this double door, we want to have 2 smooth quartz stairs like this. End rods in front of them, and then double smooth quartz stairs on the opposite side. Heavy weighted pressure plates for a table, and then we want to divide this area up with a row of grey concrete like this, cutting this area in half, in which we then want to place another set of tables just like this, so in the same fashion as the previous, and I think that we will just leave it like this. I would like to add a painting. I'm thinking Pinocchio and maybe even double Pinocchio. That's perfect. Or I would have also accepted the other one as well, the man in black. But I think that that's pretty good. And we can even add a couple of lanterns just like this. Originally, I did have like this above the tables, but as I'm placing it now, it just doesn't seem right, but do feel free to add that. I think that if we add some lanterns above where we have these order machines, I think that that will work out well. And we can also add a sneaky bit of sea lanternage just behind the actual kitchen as well, and that'll probably keep the area lit up sufficiently, and we haven't made too much of a mess. And just one little thing as well, just in this window here, we are going to have another table, so a couple of stairs, couple of M-rods, couple of pressure plates, and there we go. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, this is pretty much the entire downstairs made. With the ground level of our McDonald's complete, it's now time for us to head upstairs and begin work here. Step 1, we want to place a seating area against the staircase. So a couple of brown glazed terracotta extending from both sides, with oak leaves on top, smooth quartz stairs against the inside of the terracotta with end rods pointed upwards and heavy weighted pressure plates on top, and finally a 2x1 painting that is absolutely the perfect one will 100% fully complete this little seating area. We want another seating area that is parallel to this against this window, so we'll have a double stair here with end rods in front, pressure plates on top, and then opposite this we will have stairs again but facing the opposite way with end rods in front, but then opposite face stairs. So we've got like a single table and a double table, so we just want to place pressure plates on this, and then that is perfect. And then we want to create, well, we actually have to make a wall to partition the bathroom here. So against the red concrete here, we want to place a row of grey concrete that kind of just splits this area up. And along this back wall, we want to place brown glazed terracotta with a couple of rows of oak leaves on top, so it feels like nice and roomy and natural in here. And then against this, we want to have some like stall seating. So we'll have white concrete tables that are basically, if we leave a gap of 2 between this wall and then each other and then this wall, and then we have end rods on one side with weighted pressure plates to act as seats. And there we go, that will work nicely. So some stall seating against these tables. Feel free to decorate these with item frames with food in them. We also have to half this area here. So this grey concrete wall that makes up the wall to the bathroom, we want to split it so that we have 2 separate ones. You'll be able to have 4 rows on that side and 4 rows on that side. The entrances will just be here, just opposite the middle row. And we want to build these up to be as high as the actual ceiling level. And we can stick doors on these and then build up just above these using grey concrete like this. And now that we've done that, we are also going to add some self-service machines. So leaving a gap of 1 from the red concrete here, we want to place a white concrete gap, white concrete gap, white concrete, smooth quartz stairs on top, 1x1 paintings for each one of these, and then a stone button below. And funnily enough, we have a similar colour palette painting and a duplicate for each one of the 3 of these, which is kind of coincidental and weird. Next, we want to work our way into each one of the toilets, and in the corner on the far wall, we want to place a cauldron, oak trapdoor, and then create a small partition using grey concrete, cauldron, oak trapdoor on top, small partition, and then on this remaining part of the wall, we will have an upside down smooth quartz stairs, tripwire hook next to a white concrete, lever gap, block of iron, stone button. So toilet, partition, sink, and then hand dryer. And we want to do this in both of the toilets. So all the way over here, this far corner, we want to have a cauldron with an oak trap door, partition, cauldron, oak trap door, partition, and then upside down smooth quartz stair, tripwire hook, white concrete, lever gap, block of iron, stone button, and there we go. That's absolutely perfect. And then, last but not least, we have to fill the roof in using black stained glass. And with the roof complete, we have finally finished this tutorial. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and I do hope that you check out some more of my other content. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.